Shanti, I think they got disconnected. I think
Om Shanti. Can you
Om
hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. I think our the host Madhuban got disconnected.
Okay.
We'll wait for minutes.
So, and could you make DK Dwarka Delhi as co-host?
I messaged, they'll do it actually. So the
Okay.
host got disconnected for somehow.
Acha, acha, okay. Okay.
I think,
Yeah,
brother, you
fine.
are host now. So you can.
Oh, okay. Okay, I made it to co-host. So
Okay, I will just, yeah, I can present. I'll just test and I will discontinue.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's online webinar. Today, our webinar topic is nurturing human relationship. And our speaker is Sister Shruti. So for those who joined for the first time, let me introduce Brahma Kumaris, Godly University. So this IT webinar is organized by Prajapita Brahma Kumari Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya, where IT wing is the Raj Yoga Education and Research Foundation, sister organization of Brahma Kumaris. Brahma Kumaris has 20 different wings. Out of them, IT wings also doing the services in IT organizations like IBM, Wipro, Infosys, TCS, and many MNCs. So, this Prajapita Brahma Kumaris Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya founded in 1936. And our founding father is Prajapita Brahma Baba. And our headquarters is located at Mount Abu, Rajasthan. And this godly services is going on in 140 countries. So, main objective of the IT wing is to provide the godly service to bring internal transformations in the professionals, especially for those IT professionals. And as I told you, till date, thousands plus online webinars has been conducted and more than 100 offline programs also conducted by IT wings. So to know more about Brahma Kumaris, you can explore our official website www.brahmakumaris.com, and also you can explore our IT wing website bkitwing.org. So as you know, our topic is nurturing human relationship. So in our life, there are many relationships we are having, and nurturing human relationship is very essential for our well-being and happiness. So we'll explore how we can nurture and strengthen our connection with ourselves and those around us. So together we'll discover the tools and techniques to build a meaningful and fulfilling relationship and learn how to apply that in our daily lives. So let's welcome Sister Shruti, who is associated with Brahma Kumaris since 2013. And she worked for a UK-based MNC company. She has 20 plus years of experience in financial professional in MNCs. And she has conducted many workshops to empower people. And she is the life coach for 6 plus years of experience. She has covered topics like self-audit, calmness in chaos, self-discovery, happiness, and harmonious relationship. So let's welcome Sister Shruti. Welcome, sister, to this webinar. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Swapna, and thank you, IT Wing, for conducting such useful workshops for people. I'm sure many hundreds of people have benefited so far. For this workshop also, you've been working hard behind the scene. So thank you once again for arranging this for all of us. And a warm welcome to all the participants today. Allow me a second to share my screen. And today we have gathered together for a very interesting topic, which was actually suggested by Sister Swapna and Bhai. So we are all students here, and how we will go about the workshop today is like an exploratory thing. So it will not be one way. We will want to interact, and you can interact mostly through comments, chat. I don't know whether we have the opportunity to speak, but if that is possible, we can do that towards the end, but mostly through chat. And we are all students, we all learn. So we will explore this very interesting topic of nurturing human relationships to this webinar. So before I commence, I have a few requests to make. One is that if more and more people can come on camera, that will be helpful. It will look like a class. And we would request that you do not multitask. Just be present for 1 hour that you devoted yourself for this seminar. And if you can have copy and pen, that may help for you to take some notes. So how this 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes will go would be like, we have been talking about relationships. It's not the first time that we are trying to understand. So in the first part of the presentation, we'll go through the alchemy of relationships, how various relationships interact with each other, etc. And then we will look at the panacea. What is the solution? So there is a saying that if you keep doing the same things, you will keep getting the same results. And we've been trying through various seminars, webinars, knowledge materials, but somehow there is still some lack, or we feel that there is something which is not working for us. So let's see what the panacea is. So this is how the webcast is designed, and we will start with a question. So and we would want more and more participants to come and participate. So what do you think is the definition of our life? What do you think is our life? How would you define our life? So it'll be good to just give a couple of words, a sentence, whatever you want to say. If you look back and see, how would you define life? There are many definitions and you could choose any. It is just so that you interact more and you become more focused and attentive, and what has to reach to you will reach to you. So what you say? What is our life? What do you have to say about that? I think there is a way that you respond to Sister Swapna, and you will forward it to me, or they can respond to it. Or you can read out if there is any.
Playing our life determined by our karma.
Nice, very nice. Playing our life determined by our karma. Okay. Anything
Life
else?
is like a battlefield where we wish to win.
Very nice. I can see the emotions. It's like a battlefield where we want to win. Yeah, absolutely. This is how we feel. So there are many definitions, as we say. One of the definitions that we can work with for today evening is that life is an interaction between us and our environment. So interaction between I and my environment. And if you see from birth to death, there is always an interaction between, from the child starts interacting with the environment, with mother, with food. It has its relations. Some children may not be maybe lacto intolerant, so they can't take milk, or for some children, mother and father may not be there to take care of them. But the interactions start from the very beginning to the end of our lives. So if you look at this slide, there are basically various elements of environment, if I may call that. So we have relationship not only with people, we also have relationship with nature, we have relationship with our possessions, with our accomplishments, or with our aspirations. So the all of which together we can call as environment. So when we are in harmony with our environment, so our relationship, our desires are getting fulfilled. So we are in harmony. So we have peace. But when we are not in harmony, or when there is a mismatch between our desires and what is getting fulfilled, then there is stress. That's a simple thing that we have all experienced at some point or the other. So when we go through these interactions and we look at ourselves, who are we being? So when we are interacting, so there are people in our lives, there are aspirations in our lives. If we are working in a corporate setup, there are expectations from the company that we are working for. So and we are all looking outwards. When we are expecting from somebody, we are looking outwards. So, and what I will want you to do right now is just look at yourself and see when you are expecting, you're expecting something and it's not getting met. Which of these mindsets do you adorn? So, and I'll just bring up a few lines. So you will be a victim mentality, or you will be in a victim consciousness if you are saying that things are not fair around me, life is unfair, people are not fair to me. You will be in a beggar consciousness if you subconsciously want people to love you, if I want people to respect me, if I want security. So if I'm asking something from others, I'm in a beggar consciousness. There is something called an orphan consciousness, where you have, you feel that people don't understand me. Even the closest of our relationships, they don't understand me, and I feel alone many a times. So that's an orphan mindset or an orphan consciousness. The worst of all these consciousness is the slave consciousness. And what is a slave consciousness? And we all go through that, either in some or many of the interactions that we undergo during the day or during a period of time. What happens in a slave consciousness is, what is a slave? A slave is subjugated by a master, and master is a principal officer, or a prison officer. So here my environment becomes my master and I become the slave. So let's understand this a little bit more through an example of, say, a prison officer. So while we are taking an example so that it is light for everyone, but just keep relating it back to the lives that we live. So what happens in a prison is, there's a prison officer and he will decide what breakfast to give, what clothes to give, when to take the prisoner out for entertainment, or what time do they go to bed, what time do they wake up. So every decision of the life of the prisoner is being taken by the prison officer. So if he decides the prisoner, he can make him happy, he can conduct some yoga classes, he can ask some spiritual gurus in the prison and invite them to give a lecture. So he will give prisoner some peace of mind, but he can use his lash and beat him up. So it is all, the life of the prisoner is in the hands of the prison officer. So this is an analogy. Just look at that, and let's first again go back to the questions, and then we will come to understand how we are living our lives through an example. So the questions are on our screens. We say we are in a free society, in a democracy. So do you think we are prisoners? So have we created our own prisons? And what kind of prisons? And have we created our own masters? So it's not that somebody has made me a prisoner. I have made him or her a master. So just quickly look into your lives and just being brutally honest with yourself. Just write back, and your answers will only go to Sister Swapna, so you will not be visible to everybody else. So say that out in your chat box. Have we created prisons? Are we prisoners in some relationship or another? Have we created our own masters? So what would you say?
I would request if they can take 1 to 2 minutes of reflection and go through these questions and respond over chat box.
It could be in your office environment. It could be in your home environment where you've given the remote control to somebody else. If the person is happy, I'm happy. If the person is sad, I'm sad. If he does something good to me, I'm happy. but I have given that power to the other person. So just and we are asking this question so that we can relate back to the real incidents in our life and make the most of the seminar. So, do we have presence in our lives? The answer can be yes, no as well.
If anyone wants to speak also, they can raise their hand. We will unmute them. So let's make it an interactive session. I request
Yeah,
everyone.
I think maybe it is too obvious, so people are just keeping quiet so that we have created our own masters.
Yeah, self-doubt also creates.
Yes, yes.
We got
Self-doubt creates us as prisoners. So let's look at how we create our presence. Maybe that is how we will start relating to our lives more. So when our relationships are in harmony, so we are happy with each other. We are doing dandiya. There are two persons out there. One of it is me. So one of it is, you can say, you, and the other person is your relation. So how we create a prison our presence is, so suppose these are say two sisters or two friends, and they are very close, and the elder sister or the closest friend, he's conducting an event at his place, so he's organizing a big party, and so the younger sister is expecting, and we might see that it is very normal, very obvious. So but the younger sister is expecting that the elder sister will call me to the party. So do you think we are creating prison here? The moment we create a desire, however small it is, we give that power to someone else. So the moment the younger sister or the person A creates a desire, that person B will invite me, in this example, to a party that he's throwing, then B is in full charge of the person A. So B is in full charge. He has the control over person A. So person A starts losing his independence. He starts depending on person B. How? If the person B does not invite him to the party, person A will be sad. The sister will be sad. If the elder sister invites her and gives her all the respect and involves her in all the occasions, then the younger sister will be very happy. So younger sister's happiness or sadness is now depending on person B, so or the elder sister. So younger sister is now losing her power, and it is so related to your real life scenarios, and it could be like a manager employee scenario where you are expecting your manager to behave with you properly, give you all the respect, which is fine, which seems very normal, which seems very obvious. But what is it that we are doing is, when we are expecting the other person to give me respect, love, regard, credit, then I am making him more powerful. I am making him my master. And then the more I do that, the more expectations I have from my environment, from my master, from my company, from my manager, then I start slipping into a slave mentality, and I keep making other people the masters of my life. So this is the root cause. The desire is the root cause. So as we create desires or expectations, that is the moment we create a master in our lives. So that is the slave mindset for us. Now let's understand, how long does it take to form an expectation? How long does it take to create an expectation? So this was a very simple example just to understand So looking back in our life, reflect and see, we are full of expectations or we don't have many expectations, and how long does it take to form an expectation? So for example, there is a, say, beggar, and he sits outside my office, and when I come out, I look at the beggar and I feel pity, and I give my entire lunchbox that I brought that day to him. But the beggar looks at the lunchbox, he opens the lunchbox and he throws it away because he was expecting something more, uh, something better like a samosa or a chola bhatura. And I've just given him plain roti and sabzi. It's a hypothetical example. What would you feel if that happens to you? What would you feel? Would you be unaffected, or? And it is just important to go through these examples to understand the feeling. We are not going into the life yet, but just look at this example and see what would you feel. Would you not create any thoughts in your mind about the beggar? And if you do, then who is the beggar?
We got some responses.
Ji.
I think for previous questions, we might not have physical presence, but yes, on relationship, mostly my happiness depends on how my partner treat me. I have expectation, and when they are not fulfilled, I get very sad and lonely.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that. This was a slide that sharing came from, and maybe I can just add an example here. And the examples are not from the real life, so that you can compare it with your real life. If I give an example from the real life, you may just go there and feel those emotions right now and not be able to relate to the facts what we are talking about here. So let's look at an example from this sharing. So there is a king, and the king has a slave, and the slave gives him tea every morning. One morning, the slave did not wake up on time and did not give tea to the king. And the king becomes very angry. He is very upset with the slave. So now, who is the king and who is the slave? So are you getting the question? So now, who is the king and who becomes the slave? So we can see, because it is easy to understand from others' example, the slave has become the master and the king has become the slave. So when we are looking at a relationship where, and this is what happens, in fact, in a further slide, we can see that this is exactly what happens, that I give a lot in my relationship, then of course I will expect something in return. That is a natural thing, as we call it. But what has that done to our lives? So let's look at that. I will quickly cover this. We have seen that the expectations are formed in a jiffy, in a second. We don't even realize that we are expecting so many things. Now we are expecting this Zoom call to be a go unhindered. There should not be a power cut. When I was trying to set in my presentation, it was not coming up. So there was an expectation that it should come up in time. So the expectations are there all the time. And the expectations are not only from people, although we'll just come to the people aspect of it, but it is also weather should not be so hot, it should not be so cold. Our possessions are, the equipment should be all working fine. So all our lives, or all our minutes in an hour, are actually filled with expectations all the time. And what happens when we are filled with expectations is that we are creating powerful masters. The more expectations that we have, the more desires that we have, we create more powerful masters. And our happiness, or our joy, or our purity, or our love, or our sadness is all dependent on somebody else. If I have lesser desires, lesser expectations, I've created weaker masters. But the more expectations that I have, I've created more powerful masters and so many masters. And if the right side of the slide, you can see the world owes me, which means that everybody, I'm expecting everything from outside. I'm not looking inside. I'm just expecting from the external world all the time. So, is there a formula to break free, like in the example that someone has shared? That I keep doing things for other person. I've given my life, I've given everything to this relationship, but is it not natural, or is it not fair to expect things in return? This is what happens in daily life. Another question that we ask is, how long can we keep giving? Is there has to be a point where we have to stop giving. I've done so much favor and the person is so indifferent to me. So those are the kind of questions we all have, uh, to some extent or the other. But is that mindset giving me peace, power, or is that giving me disempowerment, frustration, anxiety? And if it is giving me disempowerment, frustration, and anxiety, I want to do something about it. And what is it that we want to do? Can we really be free in this life from all the desires? People say if you are in the worldly life, you will have desires. You have to go to the mountains to be desire free. But is that really true? Is there a way to lead a happy and contented life? So we will look at that, and we are looking at a new model of life, which we also call a spiritual model of life. So just to be open to the what we are going to see in the next slides or understand in the next slide, is just be open and without being judgmental, just absorb what's being said. So there are very seers, great men who have said, no, we don't know what we don't know. It's like there are known knowns, like we know how to make food, we know how to drive cars. Then there are unknown knowns, like we know how that can't fly an aeroplane. But there are unknown knowns, that which we don't know, and we don't know that we don't know. And as I said in the beginning, if we keep doing the same things, we will keep getting the same result. So, and we have been trying, not only I myself in my life or you yourself in your lives, but over a period of time, through various religious texts, through seers, through philosophers, thinkers, we have tried to solve that puzzle of having a happy and joyful life. But what we see around in our society is we have just gone down. If we look around, all of us maybe more than 20 plus years of age. So even in the last 22 decades, the peacefulness has come down. So you all would agree with me if I say that the anxiety levels or the stress levels are only going up, even though we may have more money from what we had 20 years back, we may have more possessions, we may have more relationships from what we had 20 years back, but our anxiety levels, our stress levels, our discontentment levels have all gone up. So what is it that we are not doing that we need to do? Maybe the path that we have been treading is not taking us to the manzil to which we want to reach. So let's look at a new model. What do you see on your screens? So it's an easy, simple question. What do you see on your screens? It'll be good to get some answers so that it's an interesting analogy, and at the end of it, it will all make sense. What is it that you see on the screen? Anybody wants to speak? They can raise their hand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is in our screen? Please respond.
Mm.
Respond in chat or you can raise your hand.
Yes, my question is to Sister Shruti that
Yeah.
first thing is that let me answer it. It's just like some players are acting on a stage podium, and whatever you have said till now
Mm-hmm.
is a fine thing. The deteriorating human relationship and how to nurture it. But thing is
Mm-hmm.
that the maximum number of people around
Mm-hmm.
us, they are only spreading the message of how to make money. No relation works. They think that the doctor, the engineers, they are the best. The advocate, they are the best. The rest of the people are just like the creatures. Okay. And the value and dignity of the human beings are not been nurtured till now, although we have passed a long journey of years and years together. And thing is that always demeaning people has been the sole motto of absolutely 100% people. They always show that my daughter, my son, my father, my so, my C or something. They are in the higher post. They are minting money. They are because I think those who have achieved that level in mind
Mm-hmm.
and spiritually. What is spiritually exactly? I cannot know. I don't make out till my age is 50 till still now, but whatever behavior we can show, we can gain spirituality through our behavior. What I know that one, and be amiable to every person should be the motto of each and every person. Okay, but the philosophy goes wrong to the 100% of people. You can find not more than 100 or 150 out of 150 crore people in India. They are adhering this philosophy that having a Mercedes, having a good vehicle, having a 2.5, 3 crores or 4 crores, or a big house of 30, 40 crores, or bank balance of 100 crores or something. Everybody is talking about 100, 1000, something like this because pictures goes on.
Yeah.
So I have recently attended one seminar which is conducted by Professor Amar Nayak of Xavier's University because I am a journalist also, and I work for the different international and national channels. What I observe is that this type of seminar is the hallmark of the day. How to calculate yourself. You see, you got second class, you got first class, you got best. That carries no meaning. If you are not a good human being, then you are not a human being, not a human being at all, irrespective of guy, boy or girl. First of all, your heart should be very clear, absolutely clear, as crystal as clear as a mirror. Then only you can have a relationship, very excellent relationship, good soul, whatever. I have attended your seminar. I have a very good relationship with your BK, ashrams.
Sure.
And what I have also met Sister Shivani. I have gone through his preachings and what she intend to tell. You are also intending that thing, that be a perfect human being. Be perfect human beings. Be a very good large-hearted person. Be very
Yeah.
kind
So
to the human beings.
thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much
you.
for sharing. Thank you
Yes.
so much. It's very helpful, and thank you so much for coming on screen and sharing. It not only helps the seminar, it helps everyone, and probably other people may be having the similar kind of emotions which you have shared with all of us. So thank you for that. And I will pick up two themes from what you said. One is that it is imperative that we become good human beings, and the second is that people are talking about money and aggrandizement or gaining material possessions. So this is something which we know. It's not. It is in every culture. It is in every religion that you. Every religion talks about purity. Every religion talks about treating everyone else as brothers. But I think there is something hidden in the religious texts which we have not been able to capture. So when we are talking about a new model, and maybe if we get time towards the end, so this is not my model. This is a very powerful model which has been revealed to us, and we will talk about it if we get time towards the end of it. So thank you so much for coming out with your emotions. I would request you to just be involved in this, in unraveling this new model that we are just about to go and talk. And as you said, this screen says, what you see here on the screen is a stage, and you see there are actors. So, for example, and taking a cue from what you shared, taking an example from an epic called Ramayana, where you have Ravan, where you have Sita, where you have Hanuman, and they are, so as I say the names, you can imagine or visualize the characters who are there. And every year in various parts of our country, the Ramayana is played. So, what would you make a Ramayana if Ravan does not kidnap Sita? What would you make of a Ramayana where Hanuman doesn't go and burns Lanka? What would you make of a Ramayana where Lakshman doesn't go out with his brother, leaving behind all his possessions? So what we are saying here is, this is a drama, and every actor is playing its own part. If Ramayana in Ramayana, if Ravan doesn't play a part, it will not be Ramayana. When the first time when that serial Ramayana came, that was directed by Ramanand Sagar, the best actor award was won by, you may be aware, Arvind. I'm forget Tiwari, or I'm forgetting the second name, but he played the role of Ravan, and he got the first or the best actor award. So this is how we are looking at the stage of the world, and it is not that we are calling it for the first time, but we want to understand it in our experiences. So, for example, Shakespeare also said that the world is stage, and we are all actors, and the God is our director. And in many of our texts, also we speak about Maya, the illusion word. We also talk about we are traveler, we are musafir. There are various songs which talk about that. So we have known certain things in theory, but we have not brought that in our practice. So if I look at this world stage, there are several props. There are lights and sound, and then there are actors who are enacting their part. Now there are three main characteristics of this world drama, and which you can relate to your life and talk about it. What are those three characteristics? I will give the first one out here. It is a changing drama. It is ever changing. It doesn't remain. Change is the only constant, we say. So it is ever changing. So if I look at the cloud and it is changing, and I create an expectation from the crowd that it should not change, what would happen? My expectation will not get fulfilled. If I enter into a relationship, or if I have so it is my son or my daughter, and I expect him or her not to change, just remain the way he or she was as an infant, it will not get fulfilled. If you look at your office relationship, if you look at your personal relationships, if you look at any other material possessions that you have, or your life journey, so far everything has been changing. Even if you look at Earth, it is moving at a speed of, I think, 30 kilometer per second. So every second it has moved, it has changed. There is a certain period in time where our body replaces all our cells. So everything is changing. So in this world drama, we're just understanding the drama that we are living into. So it is changing. What is the other? What could be the other two characteristics of this drama? So it has a beginning and an end. So we all know at the back of our mind that we have come here and then we'll leave. We are not going to be here permanently, but we live our lives as if we will never die, they say. So we know it in theory. Now we are getting to a model which will help us to practice it on a daily basis. So there is a beginning and the end to this drama. So, for example, there's a mother and a daughter, they enter into a mela. This drama, just replace it with a mela. And there are so many jhulas, there are so many toy shops, there is so much of entertainment. And the daughter gets really engaged with the mela. And she's a small child, and she's a 5 year, 6 year old child. And she gets so excited about the mela that there is a time when the Mela is going to end. But she says, no, I'll not go home. And mother is trying to persuade her that no, we have to now go home. But the child is very adamant. And then she starts crying. She lies on the floor. She'll not go home. So what is the difference between the mother and the child? Mother is all peaceful. She knows. And the child is very cranky, and the child becomes very agitated, very sad, and very angry at the mother. So what is it that the child doesn't know and the mother knows? What would you say? Maybe someone else can also put in the chat. What is it that the child doesn't know and mother knows? And that is the last property of this drama, this world. What would you say? What is it that the child doesn't know and mother knows?
His father, one response we got. His
Yeah.
father.
His father. So the child doesn't know that there is an exit. There is an end. Mother knows that there is an exit. We entered the drama and we have to exit it. There was a beginning, there is an end. But the child doesn't know. And that is how we are living our lives. We think that everything is eternal in this world drama. And why we think that is also something that we'll understand. The third piece is here of the puzzle, that it is very unpredictable. The drama is very unpredictable. While we are expecting our lives to be very predictable, whatever we have planned, that is the way it should happen. So our mantra is, one of the mantras are, prepare for the unexpected or prepare for the unpredictable, which is not what we are doing. And that is why we have so much anger, anxiety, sadness. So just coming back to our world drama. So this world drama is the physical world. There is an entry and there is an exit. And we have forgotten about the exit, like that little girl. This drama is made up of sound. There is a lot of action, movement in this drama. There are props, there are lights, which is adding to the entertainment. But what we have forgotten is that this is not our home. Our home is somewhere else. This physical world is the drama, and our home is the subtle world. This physical world, the drama, has a lot of sound and action, while our home, where we all come from, like a being of light, that world does not have sound. It has stillness. It is eternal. And because we, as those lights or beings of light, or what we call as soul or conscient beings, we have experienced that eternity, or we've experienced that peacefulness. And that is what we are trying to find here. But we have forgotten that this is a drama. It has its own story, which is playing out. Every character is playing their own part. Like Ravan is playing his own part. Hanuman is playing his own part. Sita is playing his own part. We have forgotten that we are all actors, and these are our costumes, and we have taken these costumes because we have to perform those roles. So we have variety of characters. So somebody is Ravan, somebody is Hanuman, somebody is Lakshman, somebody is Vibhishan. While back home, all of us are same. We are full of joy. We are full of love. We are very loveful towards each other. We are very pure beings. So there is, in our world, in our home, at our home, there is no beginning and end. It is eternal. It is what we call in Hindi Avinashi. It is indestructible. While this world is predictable, destructible. So in this, we come to this world. So for example, Amitabh Bachchan goes and plays the part of Coolie and comes back home. But when he comes back home, he doesn't act as a coolie at home. he acts as Amitabh Bachchan. But what would happen if he forgets that he is Amitabh Bachchan? He will be taken to a doctor then by his family. So that is what has happened with us. We've forgotten who we are, and so we've come here, and then we are expecting other people to change their roles. We are expecting ourselves also to change our role. We are trying to better our roles rather than being awake to who we are. We are trying to change our drama. We are trying to predict and then expect it to be the way it is, the way we want it to be, not the way it is, but we are expecting it to be the way I want it to be. What we've forgotten is that this is drama. Like Amitabh Bachchan goes and acts in a film, he doesn't take that costume back. He doesn't. So there is a turban of a coolie. He doesn't own that thing. He doesn't own that costume. He doesn't become coolie when he is doing that. He adorns that costume and he adorns those emotions, and he may become an angry young man. But back home, say, for example, he's a subtle father, he's an humble man. But here we forget who we are, and we start behaving as if we are our roles, while we forget that we are soul playing this role. And we forget that we can't take anything from this drama. We can't give anything to this drama, and which is the sar of Gita. Many of us may have that in our house. One of the very profound teaching and the sar or the crux of Gita is that nothing belongs to you. It was somebody else's yesterday. It will become somebody else's tomorrow. What have you brought here that you will take away? So Gita, which is called the mother of all religious texts, Gita is the only text which is said to be pronounced by the God himself or the Supreme Father himself, says that you don't own anything here. But what we do is we read Gita in Gita Pathshalas, and then we forget when we come back to life. Any of the religious texts will not ask us to go and become sannyasis and live in hermits and live in the forests. They are all talking about how we live in our day-to-day life with our families, in our offices, in our businesses. So if you see Mahabharata or Ramayana, it is about how you are doing your business, how you are managing your country, how you are taking care of your relationships. What we are doing right now is we are just reading them, enacting them once a year, and then forgetting about them. So it is time for us to now remember that we can't take even a single atom from this world. We don't lose anything. We are the purest being. We are full of joy, happiness, love ourselves. We cannot lose that, whatever part we are playing. Nor can someone else be so if somebody is playing the part of Ravan, he does not become Ravan. Back home, he is a sweet little star the way I am. So when I start looking at this world in that consciousness, what we call that is, let me, because looking at the time, I'm just jumping one slide. What we call that consciousness, which is free from bondage, is a guest consciousness, that we are a guest here. All the actors, all our relationships, all people around us are also playing their part. We may like it, we may not like it. We will not like it when we are not in the guest consciousness. But when we are in guest consciousness, we will be a detached observer, just observing how beautifully the other person is shouting and playing his part. Nobody else can play his part the way he or she is playing his part. So this is the only way to be free from these bondages. I will quickly go to one slide, which would be helpful. Anyone has any question or anything to share till now. Otherwise, I'll quickly cover one more aspect and we would move forward from there. Anyone has anything to say?
I think Mannat Ratan has some.
Mhm.
Let me unmute.
Sure.
Yeah, Mannat Ratan.
हेलो ओम शांति दीदी।
Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.
दीदी मेरा डाउट ये है कि अगर सब कैरेक्टर्स अपने रोल में खोए हुए हैं तो और मुझे ही मालूम है कि वो अपने रोल में है और
Very nice.
एंड दैट आई एम आल्सो बट आई एम नॉट दिस रोल बट मैं उनसे कैसे बात करूं क्योंकि अगर मैं उनसे बात करूंगी तो वो उनका रोल मुझे रिप्लाई देगा वो थोड़ी ना रिप्लाई देंगे तो
Which
मैं
is fine.
कैसे सबके साथ रहूं।
बहुत सुंदर क्वेश्चन है मन्नत आपका, बहुत सुंदर क्वेश्चन है. So you're saying that when I'm speaking to them, their role is answering. So first thing is ki, who is speaking to them? So you have to check who is speaking to them. You, who is that conscient being, who is now awake, that you are playing this role, that person, that soul, that consciousness is speaking, or your role is speaking. So you are awake, and a very beautiful analogy somebody shared with me was when you will come to this higher consciousness, when you will speak from the place of truth, and the truth is that you are being. We call there's a word human being, and in Hindi also there is Jeev Atma. So human is this body, humus, of 5 elements, and being. But then what is that being? We do that, we have that word in our dictionary, but we don't live that word. But when you start living that word, when you start or when you are awake and you are looking at others as playing their role, and but you know that who you are going to that higher consciousness, what we also call a pure consciousness, and what we call this as stone consciousness. When I've forgotten, that who am I, and I'm just my role. My name is Shruti, and I am Shruti. I am not Shruti. I am playing the part of Shruti. And in this life, Shruti has these many relations. Shruti has acquired these positions, and Shruti has gained this kind of sanskars. But I am separate from Shruti. So when I am awake, I go to the higher consciousness. I automatically will start bringing people around me to the higher consciousness. So the analogy is like if you get invited to a king's palace. So people who get invited to king's palace would be of the same society strata, and they will come in similar costume. So in a normal world, a beggar will not be invited to a king's party. Or if some there is a hippie party going on, so the people who get invited to that party will be of similar kind. So they will be of similar kind and they'll be of similar costume. So the moment you become awake, you start going to the higher consciousness. People around you will also start going to the higher consciousness. And that's why we said that this is not a theory we are talking about today. This is a practice that we need to start doing. Even if I do a minute of the true practice, you will start seeing the shift. And why we are speaking about it is because we have started doing that practice and we have started seeing those shifts. So people around you will start. So your relationships automatically starts becoming more free, more light, more subtle when you start seeing them as an actor. But that the first step has to come from you. Yeah, you have more to speak. Manat, do you have anything else to say?
Shall we take her questions again, sister?
Okay, otherwise I'll just go to the next slide, which may answer some more questions.
Yeah, we'll
So,
have question session, so we can take questions that moment. That is fine.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, to this drama world, what is now, I am sitting at my home,
हेलो
which is pure.
ओ
Yes, Pamela?
ओ एक्चुअली उस टाइम अनम्यूट नहीं हो रहा था अच्छा तो
Okay.
मेरा क्वेश्चन नेक्स्ट फॉलो अप ये था कि
Mm-hmm.
आपने बोला इफ आई विल बी इन माय सोल कॉन्शियसनेस एंड आई विल
Mm-hmm.
सी देम एज अ सोल तो
Mm-hmm.
देयर कैरेक्टर विल स्टार्ट मेल्टिंग अवे
Yeah. There,
पर
it may not happen immediately or directly in that sense, but they will start feeling the radiance of a soul. So, what are the characteristics of a soul? The peacefulness, the lightness, the satisfaction, or the love, or the joy, or the purity. So, when you will be in your, it's like if you're burning a lamp, the light and the heat starts emanating automatically. So when you are in soul consciousness stage, you automatically start radiating that. And because in the person in front of you is also soul, the soul subconsciously starts catching it, and that those properties start emerging in the other person as well. So it is again we are saying that it is something to practice and then see, rather than to just understand it is in theory. Understanding definitely is the first step, but the step that will take you to next level will be the practice. So we will do a small meditation towards the end, and maybe if you have more questions, we will take it after this slide. So now, sitting in my home, I'm looking at this world, and we will understand this more. So what I'm doing is I'm creating in this world, I'm creating expectations, say from a cloud which is going to change. I'm expecting it not to change, or I'm calling people mine who are not mine. So as soon as I create an expectation, I call something or somebody mine. There is a bondage. And bondage, where is the bondage? It is in that unpredictable world, that square box that we saw in the previous slide. The moment there is bondage, mine, the moment I possess something. So, for example, you buy a new car, you will be insecure that nobody should scratch my car. I have to drive very carefully. So, the moment I create a bondage, there will be insecurity. And the insecurity, if it is not getting fulfilled, there will be desperation. And what happens when there is desperation is we have expectations, and in an uncertain world, we are expecting, but we at the back of our mind or in our subconsciousness, we know that will not get fulfilled. What is it giving rise to is stress. So one of the definitions of stress can be that desire and uncertainty combined is giving us stress. What else is this bondage and insecurity doing? That are the unfulfilled desire, the expectations which are not getting fulfilled, and I'm able to blame somebody. So some of us are in corporates. We are expecting our promotions. We don't get it. I will blame it on X or Y person. It could be my manager or HR or whoever. The moment I do that, there is an anger, a feeling of anger. All this. So now sit in the home, our subtle world, and see this is the drama which is playing out. So now there is anger. All this is so in any play, there are rules. And these are the rules of this drama. If there is a bondage, there will be insecurity. If there is insecurity, these are the feelings it will generate. Now, if there is unfulfilled desire and I can't blame anyone, then I will blame it on myself. I will be very sad. I will go down and I will be very disempowered. I'll start going into depression. What happens if I wanted to get promoted, but somebody else got promoted? There will be envy. So these are all rules of the game. And why this is happening is because we are expecting certain results in a place which is completely unpredictable. It's like tying to a cloud, as we said, We don't do that. Normally we will create expectations from a relationship. We will not create expectations from, say, rickshawala. But then we will get sorrow, or we will get angry, or we will get unhappiness from only that person with whom I have created bondage, where I've said the person or the position is mine. So, what is the base of all the negative feelings or the downward spirals that we are seeing in our lives? It is all what we can say is bondage. So, bondage is the base of everything. And I had brought this slide up. And to be free from the bondage, we have to practice a different consciousness, which is a guest consciousness, that we are all. So when like there was a very beautiful question by Mannat, one of the practices that you could do when you see somebody who is not acting or interacting in the manner you had expected them to be, that we are all stars, we are all joyful, we are all peaceful, sitting in our homes, and then down here in the drama we are acting our roles. And then you can look at the drama to be very entertaining. He is enacting his role in a very entertaining manner. In fact, in the drama in our world, we can replace actors. Some of the actors fall sick or wants to leave the show. The director can bring in another actor. But in the world drama, no actor is replaceable. So my part cannot be played by anyone else better than me. Similarly, the other person's part cannot be played by anyone else better than him. So we start looking at our daily lives from a guest consciousness, and we start practicing it on a daily basis. So we give a minute or two of practice, but to start that, we first sit and come out of this bondage or come out of this role consciousness and go to the soul consciousness or the guest consciousness. When we start doing that, what happens is we dissolve our bondages, and then we are all liberated. We feel that feeling of liberation, and there is security. And when we have that feeling of security, which is our inherent feeling, and that is why we are searching it out here in a drama which is insecure. But when we are awake, we have the feeling of security. We experience peace. We experience happiness. We are focused. We will have clarity. We will be able to feel love and be able to give love rather than being a beggar and asking for love. We will be able to just keep giving, as one of the questions was there. So we are what we say, we are not a slave love. We are a master love. So we give love because we want to do that. We are supporting someone because we want to do that. We are doing our bit, or we are doing for someone else because we want to do that, not in expectation of something in return, not in order to get uh, uh, something in return, or in order to get his attention or her attention. So that slave or that bondage dissolves, and then we experience that free and pure love. We are creative, and our relationships automatically become pure and light and full of sweet bonds, I must say. So just to recap what we said, there are few sayings that I would put on screen. And one of them is that life of pain, sorrow, misfortune, or confusion is not compulsory. At any given point in time, we can choose not to be role conscious, but to be soul conscious or guest conscious. The moment we do that, we come to something what we call as pure intellect. While we are in this drama and we are drowned in our roles and we are not awake, we are sleeping. So that is a stone intellect. One of the examples that are there in our text is that of Ahilya, who was turned into stone by a rishi. And when Ram comes, he touches or he touches the stone through his feet, and the lady wakes up. So Ram is the symbol or the of supreme consciousness. The moment the supreme consciousness touches us, we rise or we get awake from our stone intellect, and we emerge our paras or the pure intellect. So it is not a theory, it is the embodiment or the experience of the big picture of who we are. So we have both the intellects, and like in our body, whichever muscles we don't use, they undergo atrophy, they start to decline. Similarly, if we don't use the intellect of purity, the paras intellect, so that we have forgotten because for ages we have not used it. But if we start using it even for a minute, it starts getting awakened. The prince or soul gets awakened. And then be prepared for the unexpected because this is a changing world. So always be prepared for the unexpected or unpredictable. And remember that we are guests. And of course, practice being in our home and being that invisible traveler, playing that part. When that happens, our beggar mentality or a beggar consciousness, where we are begging for love, happiness, security from others, respect from others, all of it we already have. So that beggar becomes a prince. Who is that prince? I, soul, I, the consciousness, like a small baby, you see that when you see an infant, he's so joyful because he's pure, is pure consciousness. When we change our costumes or our body in the first few months, because soul doesn't remember things of this world, so the soul is very pure, and that is where that divine smile of a baby comes from, and we then become that eternal prince. Eternal meaning it doesn't have an ending. We have that purity, that joy, that which is extra sensuous, or what we call in Hindi atindriya sukh or atindriya shanti. We experience that in our day-to-day lives, and hundreds of Raj yogis are practicing that and have seen wonders in their lives. So it is not a theory, as we am repeating many times. It is something that is needs to be practiced to awaken the prince that we are. And then we will not have sorrow, we will not have, because we will not have desires, and we will be able to see the world the way it is and enjoy the drama. So that will give us the silent bliss. So that is the presentation for you. We will go for short meditation, but I will take any questions or any discussions that anyone wants to bring up now.
They will get Sister Shruti. We'll start the meditation first, sister. Then we'll go for
Okay.
question and answer session. Yeah.
Sure, sure. If you get more questions, we can collect the questions and give answers later on also
Done.
in
Yeah.
the group or to other channels.
Yeah. Let's practice meditation.
Okay, okay. So I'll stop my video so that everyone can concentrate on the screen only. So sit back and try to be away for another 10 minutes and not multitasking, not doing anything else. Just bring your conscience to where you are, to your body, taking a deep breath. Do what the words are saying to get the benefit. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. Another deep breath and slowly let go. As you are breathing on your mind's screen, you can see the entire earth around you. The earth does not belong to you. You're coming down, looking at the continents, countries, the land masses, forests, oceans. They are not yours. They are here as part of this drama, this world. You're coming closer to the country you are in. In this life, you are born in this country. This is not eternally yours. Coming to the city, at present you are in this city, but it is not yours. Coming to the society, the neighborhood that you are in, that is also not your possession. Come to the house that you are sitting in, the people in the house, or your closest relations. Some of them are not there from the beginning of your life, and those who were there from the beginning are not there now. They are not your own. They are there for this lifetime, for some karmic connections. Come to the room. This is not yours. 100 years back, this room wasn't even existing. And 100 years from now, it will not exist. Look at your body. This is also given to you to play your part. You will have to leave it. Leave this costume. This is not permanently yours. What is left? In a second, I come to my home of bright red, orange light. Sitting here, I feel complete, peaceful. This is a place where no words, no sounds have ever entered. Pure silence. My home. I get rejuvenated here. And sitting here in the lap of peacefulness, calmness, I look at the world drama. which is ever changing. The actors are coming and going, playing their part, like in a movie of that world. A scene is replaced by another scene, and it keeps going on. I'm looking at it from a distance, not feeling any of the feelings of that world. I can see how everyone is playing their part with complete honesty. At the same time, I see them here at my home, the soul world. They are also beautiful beings of light, full of pure silence and joy. But they are playing their part out there. We are brothers at home. But we are in different roles in the drama. I can see the truth of the drama. The unreality of drama. At any time, I can come here and then go back in the drama. Like I go to the office and come home. I can go in the drama and come home. We'll increase this practice of being at home. What is the experience of being at home? And what is the experience of looking at the drama, staying at our home? Whenever we are free from action in the drama, we are sitting at home with our spiritual father. Increase the practice. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Sister Shruti, for this wonderful session. I hope we all have unlocked the power to empower our relationship. Now we'll go for question and session. I would request Sister Smita to coordinate the session. We have 10 minutes, so I would request all participants. So within 10 minutes, we have to take our questions. Over to you, Sister Smita.
Thank you, Sister Swapna. Om Shanti. So it was a very insightful session. I request all of the participants to put forward their questions. I will read the questions to Sister. So you can put it in the chat box or you can raise your e-hands. Sanjay Gupta Bhaiji, I'm unmuting you.
Om Shanti, Didi.
Okay.
Didi, you told that we all are here to play a role, right? And you have to detach yourself from the role. But at the same time, you have to play a role to the truthness, with full honesty. Now, during that play of the role, you have to be in a discipline or whatever authority, you will have to do that. Again, with the consciousness of the God. But so, for an example, as you rightly say, if people are not behaving as per your expectations and you see they are doing wrong things, now what would you do? Would you leave it as it is, saying that, okay, it is drama, let me be silent? I have told him, but he's not kind of changing, or he's not improving. Okay, let me not again be in anger, or let me not do that. Or let me not fire him, by the way. That's one way. Second way is, because if you don't do that, he will spoil other souls as well.
Yep.
Then what do you do at that time?
Yep. Thank you for this question. Very important, very pertinent question, actually, and thanks for asking that. So I'll answer it in two parts. One is you will get your own answers first of all, although we'll come to the answer, but you will start getting the insights the more you enter into the practice of pure consciousness. So as we were saying, that we have right now strengthened the muscle of stone intellect or body consciousness. The more we strengthen the muscle of pure consciousness, we'll start getting the answers. So here, when we are encountered, or when we see a scenario where the person is not doing the role, for example, in an office, the person has to perform and he's not performing, and he's coming and creating ruckus or whatever. So first of all, check who are you being to who he is being. Who are you being to how he is behaving? Is his behavior affecting you? Or is his behavior, you are able to see it as a detached observer? And you will be affected by the behavior if you have an expectation. But you will not be affected by the behavior when you are in guest consciousness or the soul consciousness. That does not mean you will not do your role. Because all the knowledge is not about going and living as an hermit in a mountain. So you will do this, as one of the sisters asked, when you increase your consciousness, when you go to the higher consciousness, when you raise your energy, you will also start noticing that people around you also change their energies. And even if they don't change and you take an action, and maybe if you are in a position of power, you would have noticed there would have been cases where you had to ask people to leave, but with a very clear and a very loveful energy, and those people will still be connected to you even after you had to ask them to leave. So what is the energy with which you are operating? As in one of the slides you're saying, if there is bondage, then you have anger, hatred, whatever. But you are secure and you have in your higher intellect, and then you are taking actions. That action will not will radiate rather an energy of love, of compassion, of understanding. So in my role, what I've seen is, I always believe the person is doing the best he can or she can, but that may not be good enough for the role in the office that he's got. And then you will have to take the action that you have to take in the role, but not with that sentiment of an anger or frustration, or that you have to punish somebody for not doing something, or, oh, he deserves this kind of attitude. But with full love and full support and with full compassion, you still take that action. So action is immaterial to a large extent, as long as our consciousness is lodged in our higher selves. Are you aligned, or you have more questions? And what I've said is I've done it myself in my corporate life, and it works. Is that answering the question, or you have a add-on question?
Yeah, Didi, got a point. Got a point. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I got a point. What you're saying, still you can convey my message, but with a love and passion. That's what you're saying. Not, I think.
Yeah.
Mix. Okay, got it.
Right. And where you stand makes, so where is it that you're standing? So you don't have to frame your words or frame a speech to be given or frame your dialogues. You don't have to write the dialogues. It will come automatically from the place where you stand. So if you're standing in that higher consciousness, it will automatically happen. But if I am in a lower consciousness, I'll have to do that effort of trying to be nice, trying to be compassionate. But if I'm in higher consciousness, that will automatically happen. And that is where the practice is important.
Anyone else? Please write it in the chat box as well. Sister Mannat, I will unmute you.
Om Shanti Didi. Didi, if I do not belong to this world, so if any other character who thinks that they belong to this world and they try to pull me back into this world with whatever, trying to overpower me, make me their slave again, that won't work on me, right? I won't be pulled back into this world. Like their blackmail, their threats won't have an effect on me, right?
See, first of all, the world does not belong to me. Then there is only one person I can change in this life or in this world, and that person is me. So when I am awake, when I am here, when I am awake, or when I am in my soul consciousness, when I know who I am and what is my role here. So I am not making the other person master. So what did we see? That somebody else is not making me slave. That is the wrong equation that we have understood so far in our lives. I am making someone else my master. It is the other way around. No one else is making me the slave. The moment I have some expectation or desire, that is where the bondage is created, and that is where the slave mentality is created, and I become the slave because I create my master myself. So when I am in my paras intellect, when I am in the higher consciousness, then I cannot be pulled back. I am pulled back because I am in the stone intellect, or in the I am tied up in the role. When I'm free from the role, I'm conscious or I'm awake, then no one can pull me down. Nobody has that power to pull me down. They are pulling down because I am caught up in the role, and I've made them my master. So it is up to me. And when I am awake and when I am fully peaceful and I'm practicing those and I'm increasing my energy levels, automatically the relationships start shifting.
Thank you, sister. We will end the session soon. Moving towards the last leg of our session, I would request Brother Pitabas to give the vote of thanks. Over to you, brother.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Om Shanti. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, sisters, for taking these beautiful sessions. At the outset, at the beginning, I would like to thank our Almighty Authority, the Supreme Father, Shiv Baba, for giving up this beautiful webinar, Nurturing Human Relationships. So it was beautifully presented, and I'm sure a lot of queries got clarified during the sessions. I would like to thank our IT wing leaders, the chairperson of IT wing, Rajyogini Brahma Kumari Asaditi ji, our IT wing national coordinator, Rajyogini Brahma Kumari Madhuriti ji, our IT wing coordinator at headquarters, Rajyogi Brahma Kumar Yaspant Bhai ji. And their blessings and guidance are enabling us organizing this program smoothly. Also, I like to thank the regional leaders, Rajyogini Brahma Kumari Leena Didi ji, head of Bhubaneswar Subzone, Rajyogini Brahma Kumari Golab Didi ji, center in charge, Patia, Bhubaneswar, who are constantly supporting and guiding us. I would like to thank our esteemed speaker, Sister Shruti, for conducting this session and taking us through her life experience, giving the practical examples, and to see how we make our life better. So from these sessions, I think one of the key takeaways is that we should treat ourselves as a guest playing the role, and thereby we'll be able to make it change our attitude from beggar to prince. Thank you, sister, for this beautiful session. And I'm sure all of us will be able to utilize in the day-to-day life.
Thank you, Baba. And beautifully summarized. Thank you, guys.
And also, I'd like to thank the hosting team, Sister Swapna, Sister Smita, and all the organizing team members behind the scenes, like Ravi Bhai, Madhuban, Saroj Bhai, and many others who are supporting this program to make it successful. And mostly thank all the participants. Many people have dropped out, but all the participants I would like to thank for their for them to give their time during the hot summer in the evening and out of their busy schedule. Thanks for joining, and I'm sure this will be a good learning from us, and then it will go a long way in our life. And thank you all. Thanks Supreme Father Shiv Baba. Om Shanti.
सब में हो सहयोग भावना, सब में हो सहयोग भावना, सबको सब दे प्यार, सब चाहे तो सबके लिए हो सुखमय ये संसार, सुखमय हो संसार।
सब में हो सहयोग भावना, सबको सब दे प्यार, सब चाहे तो सबके लिए हो सुखमय ये संसार, सुखमय हो संसार।
सांसों के सहयोग बिना पल भर न कोई जी पाए, प्राण का जब सहयोग न हो तन माटी में मिल जाए। सांस सांसों के सहयोग बिना पल भर न कोई जी पाए। प्राण का जब सहयोग न हो तन माटी में मिल जाए। आपस का सहकार प्यार ही जीवन का है सार, सुखमय हो संसार।
सब में हो सहयोग भावना।
जुआ नहीं है ये जीवन, कोई हारे कोई जीते। मिलकर ऐसा जियो कि सबकी हंसते गाते बीते। जुआ नहीं है ये जीवन, कोई हारे कोई जीते। मिलकर ऐसा जियो कि सबकी हंसते गाते बीते। धरती पर सबको सुख से जीने का है अधिकार।